would like to teach lessons. Themes. One of the main themes expressed in the rose for Emily is that excessive pride could turn out to be killing. Miss Emily's father believed to be high for anyone who would have liked to marry her, so he prohibited her marriage until he died. Indeed, he unconsciously thwarted and frustrated her, leading her to be necrophilic. Perhaps he was not intentioning bad things. Perhaps he was well-intentioned, apparently. Perhaps this was what's usual for the Griersons, that they have over-pride, perhaps. But actually what he did was actually affecting and afflicting his daughter, which caused her to be necrophilic and to be not okay at all. So actually, Miss Emily's father, perhaps he was well-intentioned, but actually he thwarted her, and that was actually horrible. One main theme in both selections was judging by appearance. Although Miss Emily was necrophiliac, the townspeople thought that she was normal, which stresses the fact that people judge by appearance without understanding the main reasons and truth. Hooper was also judged by his appearance, as the people refused to talk to him in order to understand, refused to try to ponder in order to apprehend the veil's hidden secretive meaning. People tend to exonerate themselves. People actually shut all of their senses. They didn't try even to understand. They didn't try to accept his message. What they have done is that they left him, they deserted him, and he was lonely for the rest of his life just because he wanted to teach them a message, just because he wanted them to improve. And actually what they have done is that they blocked all of their senses and didn't accept anything. But what proves and vindicates the truth that they actually understood his message is that when they were dying on their deathbeds, they always wanted him. They wanted him for condolence. They wanted him because they believed and they understood finally when they allowed their minds to sanction, when they sanctioned and tolerated their minds to understand, they understood as his message was not as vague as it was obviously thought. But actually, people tend to exonerate themselves when they choose the easiest ways, and that would actually cause them to be leading lives of decadence. Character traits. Both characters had pride, as she was not a woman who would accept charity, causing Sartoris to make a trick. Actually, Sartoris, Colonel Sartoris, was her father's friend. That's why when her father died, he wanted to help her by giving her remission from taxes, and he believed that she would never accept charity, so he made a trick to let her believe that her father had paid loan to the town, and that by remission from taxes, they would pay this money for her father back. Hooper had pride as well, as when he smiled a sad smile, although the word sad would express chagrin that people didn't receive his message, the smile expresses excessive pride, actually, as he did what he desired and what's upright for the sake of God's satisfaction. It actually expresses high pride, as he did what he desired. Although Elizabeth left him, people left him, he didn't care. Both of them were an understood and were obscure, apparently. Hooper wasn't understood partly because the townspeople didn't want to accept the truth he showed publicly, while Miss Emily was intentioned. Actually, there is a slight similarity and a slight difference in this point, as both of them were the cause of their situations. Both of them were the cause of being really lonely and not interested. But Hooper was actually indirectly, while Miss Emily was directly. As Reverend Hooper, actually, he wore a veil because he wanted to teach people a lesson. But the result was that people deserted him. But actually, they deserted him because he wore a veil, which was his choice. So it's indirectly by him. It's indirectly caused by him. But actually, he left this for something which is much, much more very valuable and precious from his perspective. Miss Emily, on the other hand, was intentioned to be away and to be fake, as she didn't like the modern life and she didn't want to be engaged or engrossed in it. Although he was estranged when he wore a veil, he was never feared, as he was a beneficent, affable, and cordial person to everyone.